We will be working on solving two-step equations. Your objective is I will be able to use properties of equality to solve two-step equation problems. To solve multiple step and two-step equation, we're going to be using properties of equality. Our first property is the addition property of equality. That one basically says if you add 2 to the left side, you have to add 2 to the right side, and it will balance out on you. That's why you have 5 equals 5. Same thing for the subtraction property. That means if you subtract 5 from the left, you have to subtract 5 from the right, and you get a balanced equation, which is 2 equals 2. The next one that we have is the multiplication property. That one says if you multiply both sides by the same number, in this case -4, you should both get the equal side because you were not changing the problem. And lastly, we have the division property of equality, which says if you have 15 equals 15 and you divide both sides by the same number, you will get an equality. So basically what these are saying is whatever do you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to balance it out by doing to the opposite side of the equal sign. So you don't really change the problem, you're just manipulating it. One key thing that we'll be using is reciprocals. So we need to remember what a reciprocal is. So if we have, for example, 2/3, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. All you are doing is basically inverting it or flipping it. So for example, if I give you a half, the reciprocal of a half would be 2/1, or which equals just 2. So let's work out our first two-step problem. Our first problem is we have 5x minus 10 equals 20. So first thing I need to realize is the opposite of -10 is +10. That's the only way to get rid of 10 is by making it a 0. So that becomes a 0. Whatever I did on the left side, I have to add to the right side to balance it out. Now I have 5x is equal to 30. I need to get rid of that 5 times x, and the opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide both sides by 5. And you get that x is 6. That is our answer for this one. Our next problem is we have a fraction at the beginning right here. Don't really worry too much for that 1/3. Remember, we're going to use a reciprocal to get rid of it. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of our constant. So the opposite of positive 9 is -9. So let me get out of the highlighter. Subtract -9 from both sides. We're going to have 1/3 x is equal to 12. Now I need to get rid of the 1/3, and the way I'm going to do this is by multiplying both sides by its reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. Multiply both sides by that. The 3's reduce, the 1's reduce, and I get x on the left side. 12 times 3 is 36, and that is my answer for my second problem. So for this problem, if you notice now we have a y, and our y is in our second position, but this is a positive 34, so minus 34 both sides, subtract 34 to both sides. Those reduce, go away to 0. So now we bring down our -3y, that negative is part of our answer. 14 minus -34, that is 20, -20. And then we divide both sides by -3. And we get y is equal to negative divided by negative is a positive, so we get 20/3 as our answer. You do not have to give me a decimal. I'd rather have the fraction. Last example. Now we have something that looks like a large fraction on the left side. So remember, we're going to be using our things about reciprocal. So this is division. Anytime you have a fraction, it's basically division. So I need to get rid of this 2 to get access to the variable that I need to solve. So to get rid of this 2, I need to multiply both sides by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. I'm going to multiply the top by 2 and this side by 2. These will reduce, go away. And now I have x plus 3 is equal to 8. Now I have a one-step equation. The opposite of positive 3 is -3. So that gives me the 0 that I need on the left side. That goes away, and I get x is equal to 5. And that is my answer. If you want to check your answers, which you probably should be checking your answers, all you have to do is substitute in your value for your x and simplify. And you should have 5 plus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 4. You get 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. 4 is equal to 4. If the left side equals the right hand side, you have the right solution.